Good evening everyone and welcome along to TTML. We are here for F2 action this Season 6 Round 4 of the Championship as we take in the Hungarian Grand Prix from the Hungaroring. My name is James Hay, going to be taking to the stream as always on a Thursday night, and joining me in the commentary box it is Mr. Pepsi Freak. Pepsi, how you doing?
I think I survived my food coma last week from Thanksgiving, and I'm good here to watch some Hungary GP action. I think this will be very enjoyable, very fun track. Maybe not as good as Imola from what I saw last week, but this could definitely still provide some good racing, and maybe, just maybe, someone will bring it to our championship leader and bring the metaphorical pain and bring him down, but only time will tell on that.
Only time will tell. As I said last week in commentary, Ferrans literally looked like he was going to be well down the field in Imola, and he absolutely shot up the field, obviously won the race, the feature race, and obviously did well in the sprint race as well, so Ferrans still the one to beat. We'll get into the standings and everything very shortly indeed, but as you may have noticed, of course, over the last few days or so, there's been tributes to the legend that was Sir Frank Williams. And Sir Frank, just to put into perspective, he was a pioneer for Formula 1, and he built up the Williams team from scratch from the late 1960s, with dominating the sport for the next 2 decades. And under his tenureship, alongside his loving family, Williams were guided to 7 World Drivers' Championships and 9 Constructors' World Championships. And Sir Frank overcame the most difficult of challenges in life to make his name as an F1 legend, most notably, of course, his car crash in 1986, and his name, because of that, will forever be etched in the history of the sport. Sir Frank Williams, a true icon and pioneer of Formula 1. And before we begin, we are going to do a minute's silence in tribute to the legend that was Sir Frank Williams. And that was a minute's tribute, of course, to the legend that was Sir Frank Williams. And we can see now, Pepsi, everyone is now beginning to get going in towards the session. For qualifying, of course, 18 minutes worth of qualifying, 35 laps, of course, awaiting these drivers around the Hungaroring. And to take you through, of course, what happened last week in Imola, for the benefit more likely of Pepsi than anyone else, it was Ferrans who took the win in the sprint race, Jorg second, Volokongen in third. In this feature race, Ferrans took the win, Volokongen once again on the podium in second, and Tionis finishing in third. I've got to say, 2 absolute cracking races. Watch that back after tonight. Ferrans leading the way. He's the first driver to reach 100 points so far this season in any division, and he leads the way on 101 points coming into tonight. Simply Superman in second on 53, Volokongen in third on 46, Jorg in fourth on 43, Neymar in fifth on 40, he was just left the session in fact, Breaker-Fan in sixth on 38, Noisy in seventh on 36, Nicholas in eighth on 33, Tionis in ninth on 32, and David Charhold in 10th on 28 points. And looking at those standings, Pep, Ferrans in a class above his rest. Can anybody take that fight to him?
I want to say yes. I want to give hope to the field. I will say yes. There's going to be someone. Bad luck will come to someone, and eventually the field will turn. Maybe he can't show up for a couple rounds. Something will happen. But the pace he's going right now, I want to say yes, but if he keeps this form and he keeps his pace, I think this championship may be done before Christmas, you would say. But fingers crossed, though. I think the field is still strong enough here. One bad look of fortune, next thing you know, we'll say he crashed stay at Hungary. Then that's 20 more points added, and that's now the gap goes from about 50-something to about 30-something. So it's very easy to make points if bad luck happens. So I won't put – he's got one hand on the trophy, but it's not enough yet to seal it home.
Yeah, he has got one hand on the trophy. We are waiting for Nicholas, by the way, to ready up within the lobby. I could see him noticeably spinning around on my screen. That's never a good sign of things to come. Neymar left apparently because he had a failure as well in terms of either a disconnection or anything. We'll get into the new drivers as well. Plus, Ferenc has now joined TTG. Did I tell you that? No, Ferenc has joined TTG since the last time we were here, of course, last week in Imola. Recent signing, I think, over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully he will be obviously joining from Ecos now to TTG, and he'll be hoping, of course, to try and take the fight once again in terms of extending his championship lead. We get out in towards qualifying, and what we can say beautifully is blue skies, sunshine, not a drop of rain in the air, and that is always good.
Shame. You would think it's good. For me, I'm a little bit of a fan of chaos, so I always like seeing the mixed conditions because it always challenges the driver and makes him think. But yeah, for dry, it's a nice little change of pace and make it a little less likely to see crashes, but I still like to see chaos sometimes.
I like to see chaos as well, but hopefully it is not going to be like 2021 Hungarian Grand Prix, where of course Bottas skittled into about the whole entire field down and towards someone, and hopefully there is no recollection of that. Speaking of a McLaren, actually, Norris was called up in that instant, and it's Jona, the first man out on track. Brand new driver to everyone, maybe on TTML. I've actually had the privilege of commentating on Jona on a Tuesday night in FRL. He's a very, very quick driver, and if he shows his pace, like what he did in FRL on Tuesday, he is going to be right up in the mix. And he's on a set of mediums at the minute. He'll transition, of course, to that set of soft combatant tyre, but he is a very, very quick driver, and honestly, I think he can probably take the fight to Ferenc.
Maybe indeed. I'm reminded, though, the last couple of weeks, remember that McLaren never had a consistent driver. I know the first 2 rounds, you'll have to remind me for the 3rd round, but McLaren's had both reserve drivers in them, and they both brought the pace to fairness. So it's a situation where that McLaren, even though it is equal cars, it seems like a McLaren fights fairness at the front of the pack. So it could be a situation where we see that again today, where maybe he is the McLaren that keeps the pace with the current championship leader in fairness.
Yeah, Jona, by the way, is Dutch, just to make a recollection of everyone's mind. He is Dutch. He is in the NOX team as well, the Nexus Esports team, of course, and he'll be open, as I say, for a very good result. There was a little bit of confusion, by the way, going around in the Discord about Neymar rejoining. I think he took control of his car. Jona, by the way, all out of shape coming through the final corner. Goodness me, what a way to start off a lap, coming across the line to start us on this 4.3 kilometre circuit. And now Jona down in towards turn 1. Hopefully he's not going to do that again down in towards someone. Again, a bit of a snap of oversteer, but now down the hill, in towards turn 2, the second DRS zone being open. First DRS, of course, being the start-finish straight. Jona coming now through turn 3. Very nicely done indeed. It's not going to be a quick first sector in terms of the soft compound tyre runners, but it's a 27 flat through the first sector. Runs the curb nicely through 4, and then through car killer corner at turn 5. You catch at the curb on the right hand side, you will inevitably end up spinning. Somebody's already taken the polystyrene board out to the left hand side to be going to go through the chicane of 6 and 7, and then in toward the left hander of turn 8, and through the S section now of turn 9, and then in towards turn 10. The next right-hander, of course, coming up turn 11 and the end of the middle sector. And we'll see what his middle sector is like. The 53.9 to the middle sector from Jona. Probably not the quickest we're going to see tonight at all. He's got a Red Bull, I think, of Tom behind him, and Alpine as well, I think, on a lap. But Jona now in towards turn 13, the left-hander, and then in towards the right-hander of turn 14. Hopefully he doesn't have a snap of oversteer like he did on the beginning of his lap. But Jona round the final corner, and again, really fighting the car. Jona on the line. 15.8, definitely not a good time at all. We should be seeing lap times probably in and around the 113s, I would imagine, as Taze Leroy goes 2/10 quicker.
And he's also on a set of mediums as well. The only thing I do wonder is it's a situation where he may have a setup that's a little bit less downforcey, and that could be a situation that's going to, because remember, Pac May is on, so he can't make an adjustment to that. So if that car is very loosey-goosey off that last corner, he's going to have to learn how to take it conservative, because we know for a fact, coming in with 10, 11 laps when the stint ends, let's say first stint for pit stops, he is going to be really struggling on that old wall, and it may be a situation where he may end up being curtained. So he needs to kind of change his line and quick if he wants to survive. So now we now got AMG with a 115.544 on a set of soft, so it's actually not that bad in comparison, considering that the 2 soft runners are only about a 10th ahead of the next 4 medium runners, so maybe not as much bad as a lap as we can say, because Noisy and George are behind him, but it's definitely got room for improvement, as now Ferris goes a second faster, so let me just eat my words.
I was literally going to cut you off there and say Ference was nearly a second up on F1AMG's lap time, and he goes 7/10 quicker, so Ference out on top. He's, again, class above the rest so far. Honey Badger has retired out on track. He's lost it coming through turn 5, I think, through Car Killer Corner at turn 5. I'm just trying to pick up on board with somebody that might be coming through there. I think Neymar is on the other side of the track. Raleigh is not on a lap, I don't think. But I think we've missed them. Yeah, I've totally missed them, haven't I? Ference though out on top, F1AMG in second, Volakongan in third. Ference though out on top, 14.8. Compared to F1AMG on a 15.5. Remember, F1AMG was Division 3 champion back in the old days, really, of TTML. Ference, he'll be hoping, of course, to try and pick up this F2 title. And he's done the best thing to do, possibly set on pole position. That lap time is going to take a hell of a lot of beating.
Oh, yes, it is. That's going to be a very hard lap time to beat, indeed. And I feel like someone will beat it. It's got to be the case. The track's going to get more rubber. It's going to get more situated. So keep hope. Well, there we go. Simply Superman. Thank you for proving me right. Someone's going to beat it. But I think Furnace is now looking at that, and his eyes got a little bit bigger. And I think we can hear the boss music in the distance, because I think that's now a challenge. He says, game on. It's time to go. And he's going to maybe see him a little bit later, improve on that time. But Simply Superman, second in the points. Definitely had a bad first round. Second round, pretty good. Third as well. So it's good to see Simply Superman, maybe a good Saturday driver, now showing some good pace on Sunday.
And it's good to see as well, a Williams out on top. Simply Superman out on top for Williams. Ference in second there. Neymar, by the way, 53.3 through the middle sector. Dead on, I think, actually, with Ference's middle sector. So this is looking really quick. It was quicker than Simply Superman by about 0.04 of a second as well. And now, coming through in towards the final couple of corners we come with Neymar as he now comes through. Turn 14, through the right-hander, to the line. I think this is quickest. And he doesn't. He proves me wrong. 14.9 on a set of soft compound tyres. Neymar there in third. F1AMG behind him in fourth. Disappointing that, but I've got to be honest from his perspective, given that everyone is now improving into the 114s. And of course, normally when you see the drivers come in for a set of soft compound tyre, the track degradation, the track elevation, normally brings you to about a second to 1.2 seconds in terms of improvement. On this game, I think it's more like 0.8 to a second. So, the guys on a set of mediums, like the likes of Leroy and Yona, they're going to be improving. And if they're setting a lap time like what Tom is doing on a set of mediums at the minute, he's one of the new drivers in the Ferrari, they will obviously be improving as the session goes on. As I think we've lost our co-commentator, I think, if we're not mistaken. Simply Superman out on top, Ference in second, Neymar on third. Tomboy is, though, on a lap. The Ferrari, another Tom to add into the mix. We've got 3 Toms now in TTML, but Tom now coming through in the middle sector. The real Tom, of course, is Honey Badger, but he's already out the session, as now Tomboy comes in towards the final couple of corners, through the left-hander of turn 13, and then through the right-hander of 14. Noisy just parked on the inside of the apex there, getting out the way of everyone. I think he's just preparing up for a lap, actually, is Noisy, and Tom now coming around the final corner, running to the line. Not a bad lap, 16 flat. He goes about 4/10 behind Taze Leroy, who's the fastest out of the medium runners so far. Noisy, however, now on a set of soft compound tyre, is on a lap, and the AlphaTauri with a 1:16.6 so far. Getting a little bit wrong coming out of turn 1, a little bit sketchy coming out of turn 1, and now down the hill in towards turn 2, the left-hander, of course, where Hamilton famously had a crash. I think it was in 2015 down towards turn 2. But Simply Superman out on top, Ference in second, Neymar in third, F1AMG in fourth, and Volakongan has just started up on a lap as well. Noisy through the first sector, 2/10 up.
Spun. Someone just spawned there. Sorry, I had to take a quick call. The Ferrari going a little bit slow in Tom Dion, so a little bit slow there. Looks like he's okay. Probably just made a slight, maybe his lights went off though. But yeah, a lot of pace indeed right now. Still up. We got Ference going to start an outlap relatively soon here, only in Sector 1 though. So we're going to see a lot of drivers kind of go, but we do see some drivers in the top 10 still on a set of mediums, so it does make you wonder, maybe if it's their long game here to stand a set of mediums, and will someone be able to jump Leroy or Jonah as something just happened?
Noisy ran wide coming through turn 11 and picked up an invalidation. That's what happened there. He was 8/10 up actually coming through the middle sector, so it was looking good, but he just got caught in the outside curve coming through the right hander of 11, and now he's going to make it back into the pick then. He was looking good up until that point, about 3/10 off Simply Superman, so we would have been expecting him to go 4th with that lap time, but Volakongan, I believe, is on a lap, and he's a 10th up actually. Taze Leroy is 4/10 up through the first sector as well, so be interesting to see him as Yorgo's 4th and the AlphaTauri. So 15 flat from him, and he's about 700s off Neymar. Volakongan, however, through the final couple of corners was very quick last week in Imola, and now is it going to translate that pace into Hungary? Not quite. 900's improvement. Does improve his position. Doesn't improve his lap, but doesn't improve his position. And he's there in 6th position. Taze Leroy, however, setting the timing screen to light. Purple middle sector out of everyone with a 53.2 as he now comes through the final couple of corners. This could be pole position for Taze Leroy as he runs around the final corner on the run to the line. And he bet it is. A 114.5. The track evolving all the time. The Irishman goes out on top. Taze Leroy out on top. Simply Superman in second. And the Irishman's a 1 and 2.
Well, looking right behind him, though, Fairness just started a lap, so we'll have to keep an eye on what he does that time. Neymar Gaming also about to start his lap as well, so 3 and 4 are out there on the circuit right now, so we'll have to wait and see how they can make this work here, but that's good because the Williams, you could say, seeing Williams 1 and 2 right now, but I may be short-lived with Fairness and Neymar, both pretty fast boys, so it's a situation we'll have to wait and see how they can slot up. I think Sector 1 is about to end here. We'll see where Fairness is currently. He's only a 10th up, though, so it's not close to Leroy's time, so maybe a little bit of a bad first sector here, so we'll see what he can do with the remaining 2. I think Neymar is about to hit it as well, so we'll keep a quick eye on him, but yeah, Fairness and Neymar are doing okay. Oh, Neymar around, so Neymar has lost, so lost on his own accord, so no chance for him to improve.
Not yet anyways. Neymar was looking good coming through the first couple of corners. I've been right on board with Ference on this lap, and this looks quick coming through the middle sector. 53 flat through the middle sector, and he's now 2/10 quicker than Taze Leroy in this middle sector alone, so he's finding time all the time. Ference, now the Dutchman, in towards the final couple of corners, through turn 13, through turn 14. You may as well just say it here. I think this is the pole lap. Ference there around the final corner, on the run to the line. And it's a 14.4. I thought that was going to be a lot quicker. But Ference, 14.4, he's still out on top. Taze Leroy in second. The fight is there, and pole position, to be honest, is there to be had as well.
He left some time on the board there, so I think Fairness, I did see a little bit of a first sector. I think you could say he could have proved a little bit more in the first sector. I think that was kind of his kryptonite of a run, so we'll see if when he does another go-around here, if he improves in that first sector. But I definitely think he left just enough time on the board that someone could match it or best it. And we know AMG, I think, is up in 4th now, so I think he jumped. Actually, I think he was already 4th. My mistake. Yeah. Because I just saw something kind of threw me off there. But anyway, though, yeah, I think it's still a very beatable time per se, and we'll see if anyone can best it. We'll just see if I think someone just jumped up in the list. I think Nathan Clark, I want to say, or Tom.
No,
yeah, Tom just went up to 8th. Yeah. So yeah, he's in 8th right now. So yeah, track's evolving. More drivers are jumping up there with only I think 7 or 6 minutes to go in session. We'll see if anyone else can jump up there.
Yeah, 15.4 from Tom. We've got 3 Toms now, by the way, if I didn't allude to that earlier on. We've got Tom as in TTG Honey Badger, we've got Tom as in Tom LD, and Tom as in Tomboy. So that's quite good. Yona, however, behind Tom LD, is coming up in toward the end of the first sector. 26.8 through the first sector. Beautiful curbage coming through turn 4. Yes, I did say curbage coming through turn 4. And then through the right-hander of turn 5. And it's still Ference out on top. Taze Leroy second. Simply Superman in third. I think Simply Superman actually is coming back into the pit lane. So he was obviously invalid on his lap. Nathan Clark, of course, the in 7th position. New driver, of course, to F2 this season. 115.1. Looking good. But Yona through the middle sector. Nearly matching, I would say, Simply Superman through there. 53.2, around Taze Leroy, sort of middle sector. He is improving quite a lot from this set of mediums onto a set of softs. And remember, when the Jeddah patch came out, that the lap times got a second slower. So this is why we're only seeing 114s. In LOE, I saw 113s around here. So we might just see that. Yona to the line, goes third. Really comfortable third position. 114.5, 3/10 ahead of Simply Superman. I think on his debut, he'll take that.
Yeah, he will indeed. We did have our eye on him. At least you had your eye on him at the start, though, so it definitely is proving to your accord right now. And it's not bad. He's only a 10th off, so definitely got some room to improve. But yeah, first time here. Got to get used to the drivers around him on that situation. So yeah, he'll take that. He just wants to probably also survive turn 1, but that's easier said than done. We do got a few other drivers out there currently as well. I'm seeing if anyone is close to a run. I think everyone's in the first sector. Yeah. Actually, I think, yeah, everyone's in the first sector, so really nowhere to jump on yet, so we're kind of just waiting to see if anyone does anything. I think something just happened on your screen. Did someone almost lose it?
Yeah, Volakongan coming through turn 4. He looked committed in towards turn 4, but then half corrected himself. Didn't pick up an invalidation. He's still on his lap, but he overcorrected himself coming through turn 4, then through turn 5. and he just slowed down the speed going in towards turn 5, and that's what cost him, and I think he's not actually improving through the middle sector.
No,
as soon as I say that, he is purple in the middle sector, but it's not out of everyone. We've seen better purple middle sector than him, but Volokongan is improving on this lap. I believe Noisy is also on a lap in behind. He's a few seconds behind. Not sure if he's actually backed out of the lap, but Volokongan in towards the final couple of corners. Ferrin's still out on top. Taze Leroy second. Yona in third. Volokongan out the final corner on the run to the line. He goes 10th. He did improve quite considerably in that final sector, so good luck from him. Noisy's back actually in the pits.
Yeah, he's pitting. He was on a lap, but had no improvements. The only driver that I think it can improve right now is David Chalhood. So we'll see what he can do in his Ferrari here. It's going to be a 1:15.604. So that's going to be P13 for the Ferrari. Not enough to jump inside the top 10. So Volokongan is now going to be the last of the top 10. And Noise will have first choice of tire if it holds. But we still got 3 minutes to go. Almost everyone's in the pit lane right now. And I think we're going to see in about a minute and a half a mad dash to the exit to see who can embest. And we'll see who the first driver is. I think it may be AMG per se, but we'll have to wait and see on that front.
I think actually it might be Dresse coming out the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. Dresse's coming out the pits. David Child and Volokongan are both out on their down laps at the minute. I don't think they're going to get enough time. Or certainly I don't think David Child's going to get enough time to possibly set a lap. But Dresse now, IFR man, of course, he has recently been promoted within the IFR team. If I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong from IFR, but I believe he's been promoted to co-owner, if I'm not mistaken, in IFR, which I think is a very good promotion. Just comes to show what the team is like going forward. And I think, honestly, from my perspective of me commentating on them in the PSGL event, IFR have literally gone from literally nothing to where they are now, and I think it's good to see a lot of drivers, of course, within TTML, a lot of drivers competing, of course, for their team in the PSGL event, and I've got to really credit them, to be honest. I think the way that they're showing themselves is the perfect way to become nearly, I would say, dominant in terms of the platform. They've got quick drivers, they've got Dresse here, of course, racing tonight. They've also got in, like, Jensen, who's the championship leader in TTML F1. Really feel that this could be something that we're going to see, I think, certainly repeated over the future. Dresse is about to start a lap, however.
Yes, he is. Dresse about to start a lap, and I'm looking at the right of screen right now. I'm seeing everyone's names on out laps. Only drivers not out there are a few, and if they don't go out right now, that's going to be run. So yeah, Dresse is going to be the first of the field. Luckily, no one ahead of him is going to have clear track, and I think there may be an issue in some of those middle sections where a couple drivers may be overstacked, where if the driver's a little bit slow ahead of you, it could cost you a run. But the Haas driver is going to be the best of the first here, and we do have a yellow flag sector too. I think one of the Mercedes is going a bit slow. Yeah, they're all backing up there. So we'll come back to Dresse here. The only driver, actually, him and Mashir, the only two drivers not set times here, so we'll see is at the end of Sector 1. We'll see if that time holds, and it's going to be looking around at 27 is where he needs to be, and it's going to be at 26.792, so not bad for the Haas driver, but he just invalidated, so I think we give him a little bit of a commentator's curse, and he sadly will be starting probably P19. If Shearer doesn't improve, then maybe P18. We'll see how the game cycles.
Yeah, Dresse backing out of that lap, coming through turn 5, obviously invalidated through there. It was perfect coming through turn 4, but then just ran too wide, and that's what you can get. If you catch the curb too much, you can get that. Ferrens is on a lap, Simply Superman is on a lap, and F1 AMG on laps as well. But while I'm with Ferrens, who is currently on pole, 1:14.4, I'm expecting him to really set the timing screens alight here. Are we going to see a big improvement in this first sector? This is where he really degraded his time away. He's 200s down to the first sector, but that was quicker than what he was coming on his previous lap. So Ferrens out on top currently. Taze Leroy and Yona also just starting up on laps, and we'll keep a very close eye on them, of course. But Ferrens on a lap now, coming through 6 and 7. I'll turn off the timing screens to the left-hand side just to make it a bit more exciting as we now come through the right-hander of turn 9, and then through the left-hander of turn 10, and then through the right-hander again of turn 11. Ferrens on a very good lap here through the middle sector. Again, not improving through the middle sector, but it's this final sector where I think he's really going to try and improve. He had a bit of a twitch coming out of turn 14 last time, so Ferrens will be hoping to try and get this on the timing screens. There was an invalidation, I think. There was an Aston Martin certainly running wide coming through the middle sector there, but Ferrens coming around the final couple of corners. Ferrens to the line. Is he going to improve? Yes, he does. He finds a bit of a time in the the final sector, 1:14.4. Anybody else improving?
I see some Superman was up on his times, but not enough to jump any higher. So we're going to see, I think Noisy just jumped up to P6, so good for him. Ooh, we got TTG George going P2. I think Leroy's about his last corner here, but he hasn't validated, so no improvement for him. We got Jonah as well, no improvement for him. So I think pole is going to go to Furnace, unless you just saw something.
Yeah, Dresses spun coming through turn 11. I was running with Nathan Clark, who's backed off his lap, and then Dresses just going reversing down the track on the left-hand side. He spun it coming through turn 11, and then his car was just literally going backwards, gently down. It's probably one of the funniest things I think I've seen around here. Volakongan, I don't think is on a lap. I'm tempted to say, yeah, he's not on a lap. He's back into the pit lane. Nicholas is. He's coming around the final corner. This is quick from Nicholas. He backs off, though. Cheeky from Nicholas. He's in P10. He may as well do that. Did he realise, though, that his teammate behind him wasn't improving and coming in the pit lane? Maybe. That's a bit of wishful thinking from him. But Ference is out on top. York, as you mentioned, has went very close. 400th of a second behind him there in second. Taze Leroy in third. And what we didn't see, really, apart from Carl and Rob going ninth, big improvements through the field. Everyone set their lap times, but their previous lap times, and then it's so difficult to improve on their laps, and this is why we have got the order as it is. It is, of course, Ference out on top. We'll run you through the full grid just in a second. And Ference is out on top at the Dutch 1-2, and actually, with the Irishman coming in, it's a Dutch 1-2-4, with the Irishman, of course, being 3 and 5. Ference out on top, though. Jorgen second, Taze Leroy in third, Yona in fourth, Simply Superman in fifth, Neymar in sixth, good qualifying from him, Noisy in seventh, F1AMG in eighth, Colin Robin his debut, I think, in TTML this season in ninth, Nicholas in 10th, Nathan Clark in 11th, with Volakongan 12th, Tom in 13th, Raleigh in 14th, top 14 separated by just less than a second, David Childhood 15th, Tom Boy in 16th, Mashiro in 17th, the real Tom in 18th, and Dresse in 19th position, starting right at the back of the field. But it's Ference out on top, Jorgen second, and I think this is going to be quite interesting because Jorg will be up for this one.
Oh, I think he will. I kind of think we kind of had him under our radar here. It was a driver that I don't think you and me were kind of saying that we think he'd be top 3 at the end of Hungary. If we were throwing out predictions, at least at the end of qualifying, I don't think we would have said his name. No offense to George, but I think he's kind of proved us wrong here. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see here. Problem is, Hungary's not that easy of track to pass at, so track position is king for a little bit. So we'll see if anyone throws it in. But it's a nice sunny day here, so no rain in the forecast either. So going to be dry throughout. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Is going to be very important for a lot of these drivers, because if you can get ahead of Furnace, maybe you can back him up, and maybe you can make it a little bit more of a competitive, I won't say competitive, but get him a little bit more argy-dargy, get him to fight, and maybe give him something he hasn't had much this season, wheel-to-wheel battles.
Yeah, I mean, Ference had a good wheel-to-wheel battle in Imola, and he obviously dominated that race in the final, in the closing stages, the final 3 laps or so. He really began to pull away from the rest of the field. But he was up against it. He was behind for a majority of the race, and he was in second for the majority of the final stint. And this is why Ference, I think, could struggle tonight. This could be the race where we say, is he going to be really our driver's champion? He will prove me wrong, inevitably. He always does. I think Ference, though, could be under pressure, certainly from Jorgen Taze Leroy. I certainly think Yona, watch out for him. His race pace is certainly a lot better than his qualifying pace. Watch out for him. And, of course, all the top 10, I believe, are qualified on a set of soft compound tyres. So I just glitched my UI there slightly.
Yes, they did.
Top 10 on a set of softs, and then the rest of the field being boring bunch on a set of mediums.
I don't hate that call, because if you're in 18th, what are you going to do on a set of softs? If you're Mashiro or Honey Badger, how are you going to cargo it for the field on a set of softs? That's just kind of a maybe if you're 11th, I could see it, but if you're back there with Destiny, Honey Badger, Mashiro, yeah, that mediums makes sense. Heck, even a set of hards maybe makes sense if you don't want to go too soft, because if there's an early safety car, you may be cruising for a bruising. But it's a situation where I don't hate that call at all. It's 35 laps. You don't want to burn those tires off too quickly. Use those softs when you got open track and when this race develops. Yeah,
definitely so. And honestly, Ference is in pole position. We know that. Jorg in second. Jorg, very good off the start normally, and he will be side by side, I guarantee you, down in towards turn 1. Ference has had very good starts still this season, and he's on the cleaner side of the he's on the dirtier side of the grid. Jorg's on the cleaner side of the grid, on the left-hand side. So, who will get actually the better start? Will it be the odd numbers, or will it be the even numbers? We'll just have to wait, of course, and find out. The cars are making their way through the final sector, of course. Ference out on top, Jorgen second, Taze Leroy in third. Let us know, of course, in the comment section who you might be supporting coming into tonight. I know I see quite a few of you in the comment section. Predict the pit stop strategy. Lap 7 to 9 on Tresetta hard compound tyres. A 2-stop, I think lap 6 to 9 on Tresetta medium compound tyres. And that's what we haven't spoken about. Tyre wear is quite high around here.
It is, but I honestly think, because I remember last year's game, the one-stop was possible from my experience. It's not ideal. It's probably not the best call, but you could make a one-stop work. So I think someone, if this race goes safety car free, we'll see someone do a one-stop here, but I think most will do the two-stop.
Yeah, definitely. So, Freddy in the comment section there saying guys on soft should start the struggle around lap 6 or 7. I think it'll be even sooner than that. I think it'll be around lap 4, lap 5. We'll just have to wait.
They did.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But, first of all, are we going to get a clean start with Neymar taking control of his car? Yes, the 5 red lights are on here in Hungary. Round 4 of the championship are about to begin. And it's lights out and away we go. And York slightly reacts better than Ference, but he's not going to draw alongside. It's actually Taste Leroy that's got the better start, but it's Ference that leads down in towards turn 1. Yona right on the back of these guys as well. It's 4 wide in the back when it's 3 wide in towards turn 1. But Neymar noisy in F1 AMG, I think. But Ference leading the way. 5/10 of a second. Taste Leroy in second. There's Carnage further down the field.
Yep,
Then David Charhood has been spun. Maybe by Dressy or Mashiro. Some of them got caught up in contact. Nicholas is going side by side with Simply Superman. Bit of banging wheels and Nicholas is through and he's into 5th. What a start from him. Noisy now up to 6th and Simply Superman dropping all the way through the field. Raleigh has spun in the back end as well. And there's front wing flying there. I think that's Carvin Rob. That has gone off. Yeah, Carvin Rob into the wall. Sadly, that could deploy a safety car, but Ference leads the way. Taste Leroy in second. Yona in third. Through the first half lap we go. That, however, for Carvin Rob is off track, so I don't think there's going to be any safety car here.
It's always weird when they throw it or not. Sometimes you think they aren't going to throw it, they throw it. Sometimes they don't throw it, and they do. So it's very weird in front. By the way, the car that collided with Shawhood was Mashiro checking the race director. And we also saw, I was kind of right aboard with Honey Patch for a second. He got a very bad snap of understeer right before that hairpin. So it's a situation where I think some of these guys are struggling on those cold tires. But Simply Superman kind of lost out big there. He's lost 2 spots. But we'll talk about Nicholas for a second here. Game 5, currently P5 on the grid. So that Aston Martin driver's really made it work. And the medium runners have not made much inroads per se on the front, as I think Dressray has passed Mashiro, as Mashiro is coming in from that contact he had with Chald.
He is. Honey Badger around wide coming through turn 13 as well, and he's under pressure from David Child further down the field. He's not going to get the move done, I don't think. Down in towards turn 1, yeah, the Ferrari's miles back on him. But Ference leading the way, 7/10 of a second. It's exactly the sort of start he wanted. York just bogged down off the start, and simply he got overtaken by Taste, Leroy, and Yona and all of that as well. So York is down 2 positions, and we can see Nicholas, though, 5th. From 10th on the grid up to 5th, very good start from the CPI man, and of course he's in there in the Aston Martin. I think that wise decision, possibly to back off of his lap in qualifying, might just save his tyres slightly, and he's already up into 5th, and he looks like he's got pace.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a little bit of a train form behind, though. It looks like he's losing a little bit of touch to George, and Noisy is just right behind him. So I wouldn't say he's got pace yet. We'll see what he does in the next couple laps when DRS is activated, but he's almost about a second out right now. So he has to get on the giddy up here, or else he will be the second train, per se. We'll have 1 through 4, then 5 through about, I'd say, 11, 14, 13, actually. So he needs to kind of get a move on, per se, to keep it close. But it looks like he'll at least stay in range. Ooh, he gets a little snap there, so he'll be close. But yeah, actually, I think he's out of it now, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, no one really close to making a pass here. Francis is about to leave Leroy in the dust here as well. He's almost got a second of him as well, so we have to see if he can try to break away.
Nosy on the back of Nicholas. Is going to try the move down in towards turn 1. No, he is not. I think Noisy of old, he would have tried to go for that move. Oh, Nicholas spin on the curb. Nicholas spins on the curb. There was no contact there. I was on board that with Noisy, and now Simply Superman as a result of side by side with him. Down in towards turn 2. I think Noisy's just going to hold on to this position. He's there in 5th. Nicholas, from such a good start, he had a snap of oversteer coming out of turn 1. Caught that beautifully, and Noisy now into 5th position. The rest of the field move up a position as a result of Nicholas all the way down in 16th position. That is not the sort of start he would have wanted. But it's simply because he got a bit of curb, and there's a spinner further down. Raleigh has spun coming through turn 3, so he is now spun and pretty much is out of this race as well. Neymar, though, on the back of Simply Superman. Simply Superman, for me, it looks as if he's got some sort of damage, or he's just overworn those tyres completely, because he has had a very shocking start, if I've got to be honest. He's in 6th. Neymar's in 7th, but Neymar consistently in the last 2 laps has been all over the back of him.
He hasn't collided. I'm checking the race director, and he hasn't collided with anything, at least according to the screen, so no warning flag there. It may be very minor if it did happen, but it doesn't look like he's got any wing damage, and he is kind of keeping okay with Noisy, so I think you're right. Maybe just overheat the tires just a bit, because if he was really struggling with downforce, he'd be under clutches right now by Neymar and AMG, but he's able to stay in the toe pretty well. And I think he's about to make a pass on Noise here down the inside. He will successfully take the spot, so Simply Superman up to 5th, Noisy down to 6th. and Neymar Gaming kind of taking a look as well, possibly, but a little bit too far back for that to happen. But I think we also got something up the road here. We got Jonah and Leroy as well. We could see a pass at a spot where you don't see a pass.
And David Charlhood and Honey Badger are side by side further down the field, and David, I think, is just going to come out on top of this one. Down the hill in towards turn 2. Ferrari pushes the Alpine out wide. To be fair, the Alpine tries to hang it around the outside line. He picks up a 3-second penalty. Tom, you should know better. David is through and he's into 14th. Honey Badger there in 15th position. Running wide, he just seems to be struggling, is our Honey Badger there in 15th position. But that's what you get, of course, here. I think he finished work, if I'm not mistaken. And that is why he's obviously joined the set up the session a little bit later than normal to get that TT set up. It's probably not the finest TT setup that he's found, which is why he's struggling so much because of the lack of practice. But Ferent's leading the way. Taze Leroy in second, Yona in third. As you mentioned, Yona's all over the back of the Irishman in front. Ferent is pulling away. If Yona gets clear of Leroy here, and I think he will, down in towards turn 1, this should be job done. Taze Leroy is under pressure now, and the Williams is going to lose. I think Neymar is into the pit lane early as well. Yeah, he's in. Early. And Yona now, on the inside line, gets the job done, down in towards turn 1. Taze Leroy will try and get the switchback out of this. Could get a perfect switchback, but I think with Yona, with the DRS, he gets the move done, and he's through and he's into P2, and he now pulls that gap to a second to Ferentz.
Well, with our LW League Racing TV chat predictions here, or LRFs, we do have a situation where they did stay about 5 to 6 with softs fall off. So we're only on lap 5 right now, so we may see a couple drivers maybe follow Neymar in. Neymar going for the really undercut here. He's prone to do it. As I think, yeah, Jonas just got a purple sector 1, so he is going to make some inroads here per se. So I think him getting around Leroy here, he wants to get super close before those pit stops happen in a lap or two, so he can at least try to maybe get some magic through the pit stops here. But we'll have to wait and see if he can get a little bit closer. We also got George staying in the back of Leroy as well. So I think Leroy is kind of losing a little bit of pace here, struggling as the stint goes on here, maybe not feeling comfortable on those soft tires per se. And yeah, Jonah's making some good inroads here. He's already got back within DRS range, what Leroy was not able to do, and Leroy out of DRS range already, so he may be coming in this time by.
Yeah, he's really struggling. The Rias are especially overwearing themselves out on track. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in for split, then yeah, he's in. And Yona actually is only 8 tenths away from the back of Ferentz. He's got more ERS, he's got more deployment, he's got 25% more ERS compared to Ferentz. Sets the new fastest lap of the race as well. Noisy in the meantime is on the back of Simply Superman. Is the AlphaTauri going to get the move done down in towards turn 1? I think he's going to wait behind. Actually, he goes to the outside line. Simply Superman to the inside line. Little bit of nearly wheel banging, little bit of contact. F1 AMG is going to get the undercut as well on Noisy, and now he's going to get them both down the outside line in towards turn 2. I flick on Yog by mistake. Sorry, Yog. F1 AMG round the outside line through 4th, and now Simply Superman is round as a result of contact, but F1 AMG is through and he's into P4. They left each other short of room. Noisy there in 5th. F1 AMG clean move.
They touched wheels. I think Superman, he kind of went a little wide, per se. I'd have to look at it again. From the angle I got, though, I'm not going to hold AMG at fault there until I get a better look. But from the one shot I got, it looked like they kind of touched wheels. It looked racing, but if you're Superman, you're going to say AMG left you no room. If you're AMG, you're going to say I had the opportunity there. Superman should have came into me. So he said, she said, per se. And right now, I'm not going to call that one. I'm going to say impartial, but that's what the stewards are volunteering to do and decide what's what there. But at least in corner 1, Noisy definitely put a pinch on Simply Superman, though, so per chaos, you could say.
This is interesting. Ferentz into the pits, Yona staying out. Yes, I repeat, Yona staying out, and I think this is going to be his qualifying lap. I think this is going to be his qualifying lap to try and overcut Ferentz, who's obviously going to be on a set of mediums, and they're going to take a good lap or two to get warmed up. This is bold from Yona, and yeah, Ferentz has gone a set of hard, so he's going to go one stop, I think, to the end of the race. But Yona going 1 lap extra, I think he could do this, you know. If he's got the pace and he's got the deployment, which he has on his side, he's pulling away from Yona, this is your qualifying lap, my friend. You've got to put this in now, because Ferentz, 5 seconds behind Honey Badger, he's not going to be getting a wriggle on that sort of hard compound of tyres. This is the time for Yona now to try and crack Ferentz.
Something worth noting is Taser, remember, he pitted 1 lap in advance. He's now 2 seconds behind. Remember, he was only about 1.5 seconds behind, so he actually lost some time in the undercut. So the undercut may not be as potent per se, so he needs to have a good in lap here to make something happen. He needs to, this is your life, metaphorically speaking. This is your qualifying lap. You need to put down a good run here, or else you're going to get no time game or no time loss. So put up or shut up, as they would say, and we'll see what he can do here. We'll see if he decides to take the hard right in this time by. He is coming in, so he's probably going to lead the rest of the field in. So it's now the question mark is, did Fairness do enough on his in-lap on those softs and this out-lap on a set of hards? He's got no traffic, but does he have enough ERS deployment to maybe get around Jonah? And we'll have to wait and see. A couple drivers do stay out, though, but they are on the medium, so they are definitely going to go longer than 2. And that's the last of the soft runners in, as I think he put on a set of hards as well.
He has put on a set of hard compounded tyres. Tom versus Tom down in towards turn 1 for 3rd and 4th. How delightful it is to have two of the same drivers with the same name beside each other out on track. Ference is side by side with Jorg, I think, coming out of the pit. And in fact, it's actually Jona. That's side by side with him. It's Jona side by side with Ference, and the overcut nearly works. But he's on a lap, fresher tyres, and Taze Leroy, in fact, in behind, is side by side with Jorg. Tries to go to the inside line. Bit of a switch there from Jorg, and now Taze Leroy on the inside line. For 3 goes Jorg, and Taze Leroy all the way on the outside. This will be bold and brave and brilliant if he can pull it off to the inside line. What a move! Taze Leroy's through, and he's into 10th. Beautiful, beautiful move that. Brilliant racing between them both. Taze Leroy through, and he's into 10th. When you get behind the driver and you behave like that, you never give up the fight, because it's never impossible that he can pull off the move like that. Taze Leroy's just showed it, and he's through, and he's into 10th. Brilliant stuff.
He said he kept his foot in and he was not lifting there. He had the out in preferred line, but then it looked like he had the brake. So he's like, I'm not lifting here. I'm going around you. And this is my spot. I got fresh tires now. I got to set my signs on the 2 drivers ahead to get my spot in that podium right now. So he has to go, and he knows I'm going. But going back to Jona for a minute, he only lost about a 10th. So he almost had, if he just could have got one more 10th on, I think it would have been a case going into 1. But yeah, Jona is going to have that fresher tires for a lap here, but he's also in DRS, as I think Tomboy just passed Tom, so Tom the third just passed Tom the second for 3rd.
Yeah, Tomboy is through, and he's into 3rd, Tom and into 4th. Luckily, I didn't commentate on that. However, Jorg's coming back at Taze Leroy. Down the inside line in towards turn 1. Taze Leroy, look at the switchback he's got. Look at this. On the inside line, now on the outside line for 2. Jorg has got the DRS, though. Jorg is on the inside line, trying to get the move done. And these two still battling. Taze Leroy, though, still trying to make the impossible work. Through the inside of turn 3. They're still side by side, and they have to back off. And Jorg didn't want to give up that at all. Great racing again. Taze Leroy's through, and he's into 10. This is why he battled with Honey Badger last week. What a battle he is. 1-on-1. Clean driving is excellent, my friend. And Taze Leroy's through, and he's into 10. Obviously costing time a little bit to the likes of Jona and Ference ahead of them. But at the expense of what? A great battle like that.
I think Jorg was kind of seeing like, okay, you did that move to me around the outside, I'm going to do it to you. And you just didn't get much traction on the outside. So it's like, you can try it, but can you pull it off? And that was not the case. So Leroy showing that he had that little extra skill, you would say, to keep it clean. Now George, though, going to be a little bit like, all right, what do I have to do to get around him now? And while this happened, that top 2 is breaking away what would be de facto top 2. So they kind of maybe want to stop scrapping for a little bit, maybe let one car lead to try to get back, but you don't want, you tell that to a driver right there that this may be your last chance to get 3rd. Easier said than done. But yes, we do see the distance there. Jonah getting a little bit close per se, not going to be enough to throw it up the inside. We'll see if George throws one up the inside. Leroy, no, he will not as well. So both kind of closing, but yeah, Jonah really close to fairness.
He is really close, 0.3 of a second. He's got more ERS than Ference. Ference has just been harvesting his ERS slightly these last 2 laps. He's on 43% now, coming out of turn 3. Mignona's got 20% more ERS. He had 25% more before the pit stop, so he's just degraded that pit stop, ERS advantage away slightly, but it's still a 20% advantage, and that 20% advantage will count towards a very, very, very good final stint, which we assume they're all on because they're on a set of hard compounded tyres. Further down the field, by the way, F1 AMG on the back of Raleigh. He's caught in a bit of traffic here because Raleigh hasn't pitted. Neymar has, and Neymar's 1.6 seconds up the road. There is a spinner coming through the middle sector. Oh, there was a random yellow flag there.
A little slow. Someone was a bit slow there. I didn't see anyone because I think it was right where
Jona.
George
it was Jona.
Oh, it was. Yeah, you're correct. Jona's now second back. Sorry, 3 seconds back. So yeah, Jona had a slight overcorrect there. Yeah, I guess he was the cause of that, and now he's under pressure from Leroy. So yeah, he made a mistake there. He was looking good, and now pressure off fairness. And I think you could say, when I was saying the previous 2 rounds, Golden Horseshoe, it seems like that's still with fairness at the very least, because Jona, slight mistake there, and that's going to allow fairness a little bit of breathing room to kind of save his ERS.
Yeah, F1MG getting the move done on Raleigh down the inside line in towards turn 1. Ooh, a little bit of wheel banging there, if I've got to be honest. But F1MG's through, and he's into 13th position. But, crucially, this is a net P6 for him now, because Raleigh, of course, hasn't pitted just yet. F1MG through, and he's into 13th position. Raleigh, of course, will be staying out for a majority of this race. You would imagine probably more than the halfway stage. Yona must have made a mistake coming through turn 11. That's what the yellow flag was. It was through turn 10, turn 11, that complex here that he's approaching towards now, and this is where he lost 3 seconds. 3 seconds to Ferrans, and you don't want to afford Ferrans 3 seconds at all, because he would just lap that up, and he's already on the back of Honey Badger, of course, as a result. And now Yona, coming through turn 11, just backs off the throttle, and not really as hesitant as what he might have been through there if he made a mistake.
I think he went. My only guess is from previous knowledge of how racing this track is I think he may have just kind of bungled up that corner and then tried to get a little bit more on that exit of, I think, that sweeping right from the end of sector 2, and he just went a little bit too wide, and then the car got a little squirrely off, and that cost him 2 seconds. I don't think he fully looped it because he would have lost more time, but I think he just tried to overpress there to try to get back some time, and kind of cost. At least that's assumption though, so will probably be corrected later. But from what I can gather, that's what I've seen. At least what I kind of can gather from my information. But other than that, though, you got Volvicon on the back of Nathan for first, not really close to make a lunge, and really everyone's getting kind of spaced out here. But Fairness has caught the back of Honey Badger here. So Honey Badger, the last of the drivers haven't pitted yet, and Fairness already caught him. So we'll see if Fairness tries to make quick work of him, or now that he's got that breathing room from Yona, maybe takes it a little conservative here, doesn't want to kind of kill his rubber, but maybe doesn't try to force something either.
Ferrans has caught Honey Badger at the worst possible point on the circuit. This is through the middle sector. Look at how much time now he's going to lose to Yona and behind. Yona 3.4 seconds. Make a note of that now. I think that gap could be 3 seconds quite easily because you're running in dirty air. And Ferrans, obviously with the help, he's going to be flung out wide. And Honey Badger is not going to get out of the way for him. And Yona, it's 3.3 seconds, so literally what I said there, you could just ignore the last 30 seconds of that.
3.2, 3.1, yeah, it will probably fall 3 seconds before he gets survived on this straight here. Now Carl up has left, which kind of shocked he didn't leave as soon as he crashed, but maybe wanted to chew around his teammate here. But Fairness is, probably going to make this move quickly here. ERS does favor Honey Badger, though, so Honey Badger, I think, will put up a little bit of a fight here, but with such a very long straight here, we're going to see if he goes around zooming here. Will Honey Badger put up a defense around the outside? Well, they're still side-by-side here, but Fairness has the corner here, but Honey Badger keeping his foot in it. He's going to have a little bit, but oh, he's still there, so he's going to have the inside line. Now he lost it, so never mind. It looked like he was going to be okay, but not going to have enough time to keep it in, and now Fairness sets his sights up on that Ferrari just up the road, and the gap went down to 2.9, so you were correct. Well, I think it was about 3 point... Yeah, I think it actually washed out in the end, so never mind. So you're almost right there, James.
Almost right. I will take it. Honey Badger picks up his second penalty of the night. He's there in 8th position. 6 tenths behind, though. And now he actually did Yona a slight favour because Yona caught up by about 2 or 3 tenths per second as a result of that battle. And obviously, Honey Badger didn't want to give up that fight. And he wasn't entitled to give up that fight because he looked to try and get that move done on the outside of turn 1 and then down the hill and towards turn 2. It's just the case that Ferrans had DRS and obviously got that move done. He's through now into 7th position, still, of course, in that net lead of the race. I'm looking towards the front, guys, and I'm thinking to myself, could some of these begin to pit in from around this point in the lap? Lap 14 we go. We're pretty much 2/5 of the way through now. Nathan Clark leading the way, Bullock in second. Dresse on the back of Tom, trying to get the move done down and towards someone. I don't think he's going to be close enough. Ferrans just responds, by the way. Fastest lap of the race, a 1:18.1. Good lap from him. And now he is on the back of David Child, trying to hunt him down. Dresse is not close enough to the back of Tom. Thoughts about it in towards 2. But this is just a little bit of a lull period. That's something that's going to kick off big time, I think, soon.
Oh, yeah, especially if a safety car comes right now. Because remember, go back to that point, Honey Badger's not going to fight. Because if a safety car does come out right here, everyone's going to pit. Even the guys on the hards probably will... For some of them, like Fairness, will definitely pit at least to get some fresh rubber because they'll be a sitting duck if they don't. But it's a situation where, he's got no right to let him go, and Fairness is kind of slowly reeling in Chawhud right now. But yeah, we're in a bit of a low period right now. Anything's possible, especially with 18 cars still in this field. One driver kind of goes a little bit too overzealous, and next thing you know, safety car's out, and this field's all punched up again, and Yona's basically got an extra life, as you would say, to keep on fighting. I think, Dresse got a little squirrely there, though, off excellent. Same with Chawhud, so they are kind of struggling on those mediums, so we may see them take the hard right to the pit lane sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Tom picked up a 3-second penalty in that as well. That's his first of the night. And Dresse, I thought he was going to come into the pit lane there, but he's not. He is on the back of Tom, however. This should be easy down and towards someone. This is the 4th and 5th out on track. This further down the field will probably be like for something like 13th or 14th. As now Dresse, look at him, straight line speed down the inside line in towards turn 1. Tom is going to try and get the switch back here through turn 1, which we saw with Taze Leroy, and unfortunately for him, I think it's going to fail because Dresse, with that DRS, it gives him the advantage on the run down in towards turn 2. Lovely move, Dresse's through, and he's into P4, out on track. Simply Superman on the back of Raleigh as well. Much easier move down in towards turn 1 that time, and Simply Superman through, and he's into now 14th position. But what a disappointing start from the Irishman. He had a very good qualifying session. He has now dropped, in terms of positions, 9 positions. So he started 5th, he's in a net 7th, so he's only lost 2 positions. But on all of that, as Neymar has let F1MG through, I think. So he's now through and he's into P12. And do you know what? You may as well. F1MG set a medium compound tyres, 4 seconds behind Jorg. The gap is going to come down, but I don't think the gap will come down enough for F1MG to catch Jorg before F1MG comes into the pit lane.
No, not indeed. So I think that's going to be kind of all she wrote on that run, per se. But he could maybe tow Neymar a little bit closer to give him at least a little bit of fight. But Neymar's also going to have to pit as well relatively soon. So they're both going for at least a set us off. So as we do see Volvicon and Tom the Third, or Tom Boys, they would say, coming into the pit lane right now. So only Nathan Clark, Dressier, Tom on the back, David Shawhood is kind of keeping pace, though, on Fairness is what I'm kind of watching right now. I've been watching Fairness the last lap, so I think he would try to throw a move up in the corner here. Now I think he's definitely going to try it on Shawhood here. He doesn't want to get stuck by him too long. He's going very aggressive in the 1, and I think Shawhood is going to be a little conservative on the brakes, try to switch back, but it's not going to be enough. So Fairness kind of sat behind the lap there, and now buying his chops, and now sets his sights on the top 2, but they'll probably be coming in this time by, inheriting the lead back to Fairness. But something else has caught my eye. Jonah has not really made that much inroads trying to catch Fairness, per se. Maybe a little bit spooked after that mistake, because he's right now by Honey Badger, and he's going to catch him getting in the worst spot unless he's very aggressive to try to make a pass. But yeah, Yona, that one mistake has really cost him greatly, and he has not made much inroads to try to catch our current leader and points leader.
I think Yona, to be honest, is losing time more than gaining time, to be honest. And Honey Badger is doing a good job of holding them up. I mean, look at Taze Leroy. He's a second behind now, and the gap was a good 1.6 seconds at one point on this stint. So, Taze Leroy now beginning to catch. As long as he puts the deployment in, I mean, he's got 67% of deployment to use. May as well use it conservatively through the final couple of corners here. On the run, approaches into the final couple of corners. Nathan Lowe into the pit lane from the lead of the race, and Nathan Clark into the pit lane from the lead of the race. Dresse, stays out, and Tom is into the pit lane. Mashiro's 3-second penalty further down the field. And actually, I think Mashiro came back into the pit lane sort of spin, one of the two. Nathan, however, going on to sort of hard compound tyres, and Yona now flying past camera shot on the back of Honey Badger. Gotta go for it now, down the inside line, in towards turn 1. And again, he's half committed. I really don't like this from Yona. He's half committed, and he will be behind Honey Badger another lap.
Well, he could throw it up here. We also remember we did see that battle with Leroy and Yord, so he could throw a move here if he's very aggressive, but he has to try something. He can't stay idly by. No, he's not going to get it. So he's going to be stuck behind him again, and time is getting lost very quickly here to the leader. And I just think he's being a little too cautious. I know for myself, I like being cautious, especially being a new driver. You don't want to ruffle feathers. But it's a situation where he needs to try something. He's losing time. This guy is going to pit in a lap or 2, and when he does, you'll be, instead of being maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds back, you're now going to be north of 4. So you have to make a move and force something. You can't sit behind, or else Leroy will be the next man up, and he'll tell you, if you don't get the job done, I'm getting the job done. So get going, Yona, as they would say.
Yeah, Yona has got to get a move on. This is going to be the lap where he's got to commit now. It's halfway through the race, and if he wants to think about the race win, I mean, Ferrens is 4 seconds up the road, really gaining time. Honey Badger now beginning to lose the rears slightly. The rears do overwear slightly. I think we're going to see maybe a 3-wide moment down and towards turn 1. Taze Leroy not too far off Yona, but he is a bit far off, running down in towards turn 1. And now Yona down the inside line. He's derating down the straight. He has to go for it down the inside line. He was derating down the straight there, and now the McLaren is through. Is he? Taze Leroy trying to get involved in this as well. And now Yona still on the outside line and towards 2. We saw with Honey Badger earlier on in the race, he didn't want to give up a fight coming through turn 2, and now through turn 3 it's exactly the same. We're on board with Taze Leroy, who's going to get a great one up on both, and Honey Badger's going to go for the move side by side and towards 4. Somebody's got to back out, and look at that, Honey Badger's back through and into P4, doesn't want to give up a fight. Brilliant stuff between them both. All of that caught on board with the man behind them, Taze Leroy, who's probably thinking, go on guys, make a bit of contact, I'll just take 2-3 positions. But what this has done is bring Jorg into play, and Jorg is on fresher tyres compared to Taze Leroy and Honey Badger.
Indeed, I bet you right now, no love lost from Honey Badger Jonah, but I do think right now fairness is
there
was Honey Badger! Maybe Jonah's right now saying karma on his headset right now, saying the Clarence Alonso, just saying karma for fighting him that hard. And Jonah going to be fourth now, but now under pressure from Leroy.
It was the rears that went. He just oversteered coming through turn 11. The rears have gone. He should have pitted the last lap around, I think. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done that. Taze Leroy, though, on the back of Yona more immediately. This is for second position. Ference is through, for Dresse, down in towards someone. And now Leroy, another one that is not using up the ERS down in towards someone. Yona's gone deep. Can Taze Leroy switch back? He can. The Irishman is underneath him, and now on the outside line for 2. This is easy. Taze Leroy eventually is through, and he's into P4 as Mashiro was retired out on track, and he's gone straight on. That's weird. He hasn't. Oh, it's a VSC. I think he's crashed. In fact.
I can't sadly get a camera over there, but it looks like a similar spot to where the other driver. Jonah made a mistake, so maybe it's the same spot.
Yeah. Kvyat, I think, made the same mistake as well, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago in the Red Bull, and he went off there coming through in turn 11. So that's where we've got the VSC deployed. The car has now gone, so Mashiro out of the race. Really unsure what happened there. That looked very, very strange from the mini-map perspective. Ference still got the move done. He is through now into the lead of the race, and I think we're going to go green flag racing very soon indeed. Cars are still going out. If the cars, of course, still stay underneath the VSC, then, of course, we might see some pit stops begin to unfold. But I think we're going to see, possibly, the VSC coming in very soon indeed. An F1 AMG has picked up a drive-through penalty. Ference, though, gets us back underway. Dresse in second. David Child caught up a lot in that VSC period. And Yona is not too far off the back of Taze Leroy, and he saved up a lot of ERS this time. 40%, but 5 tenths of a second behind. You're not going to get the move done from that bar back, as F1 AMG is into the pit lane, presumably to come either into the pit lane to serve up his drive-through, or he's into the pit lane to serve up his or a tyre stop, which it's not because Neymar is in behind him.
Yeah, I think AMG is going to drive through, and then I think we're going to have Neymar pit, so we'll have to see what that checks out.
Oh, Tom! Tom on the outside line of Volakongan, sorry to cut in, this is coming through turn 2 and 3, and Tom trying to hang it all the way around the outside of Volakongan. Lovely stuff by the Ferrari. Turn 3 seems to be everyone's party piece currently in F2, and Tom is through and he's into P8. Tom Boy, that is, through and he's into P8. Nicholas is trying to go side by side on the outside and towards turn 4 as well. Backs off, but he gets to switch back on Raleigh, and this can now look around the outside of turn 5. This will be brilliant if he can pull it off. He's on a set of hards. He's on 7 lap pressure tyres. He's on the outside line now into the chicane. Oh, no. This will be bold on the brakes if he can do a 2 into 1. Don't go. What a move. Nicholas is through, and he's into P12. Absolutely insane battling. Let's Noisy catch up in all of this as well. My God, I thought we had a good race last week in Imola. These guys are just wanting to show up every week and perform like what they're doing. Nicholas through, and he's into P12. I tell you what, this is going to trump Imola all steps of the way. Brilliant stuff.
Oh, we've seen some great overtakes here. I've actually been glad to see him. Luckily, I'm here for this race this week because it always seems like I missed the good race. But yeah, a lot of great overtakes where you don't think it's happening because I think Honey Badger's in the wall there as he lost it off that wall wide there. He's luckily kept the wheel on it, but damage indeed. So the Alpines are having a very rough season here. But someone else has caught my eye. Oh, something. I'll let
F1 AMG and Noisy was side by side coming at the final corner, and Noisy's let F1 AMG go. There might have been a little bit of contact in there, but F1 AMG, I believe, is back through on Noisy, so he's through and he's into 14. Tomboy, though, has spun. Oh, no, sorry, Tomboy's been overtaken by Volakongan, which I missed. Volakongan through and he's into P8 now.
I think Honey Badger may decide to retire from the pit lane here. We'll see what happens up front. But back to the point, one thing that shocked me that I was going to say is that Dresse has only lost, he's on 20 lap old mediums, and he's only lost a second to Fairness. So he's kind of keeping touch to Fairness, and even David Chahad's keeping pace as well. So kind of makes you wonder if Fairness' hards are kind of falling off, and maybe he decides to pit, because they'll go to the end, per se, but those mediums that are 20 laps old are still keeping touch distance to Fairness, and they're even able to keep a distance on Leroy and Yona. So it does make you kind of wonder, per se, that maybe if someone goes for a set of softs, they won't probably carve their way for the field, but maybe with these hard runners, per se, maybe they can get some extra time here and make it work.
Yeah, more immediately as well. Yona fighting with Taze Leroy down in towards someone nearly into the back of him, in fact, and now the Dutchman going to try and get the run in towards turn 2. Don't think he's close enough. And he's not. Taze Leroy stays in P4. Further down the field, Tom going side by side with Simply Superman, committed that way too deep into the corner, and Simply Superman's just going to get the up and under. But Tom, with the DRS, is going to get the move done. So every time we've seen coming through turn 2, side-by-side action, it's normally the DRS as the main factor in that. And that's why Tom is through and he's into P10. Honey Badger's picked up another 3-second penalty. He's been lapped as well out on track. I think he's now behind Ference, our leader.
Yes.
Ference leading the way, 1.8 seconds ahead of Dresse. David Charhood in third. Taze Leroy in fourth. Yona again, being cautious more than anything else. We've seen it with Cautious Storm, of course, in F4. Storm 72 UK, of course. But Yona, on the back of Taze Leroy, he's on the back of him, but he's not going for the move. And I just think this is going to cost him more later on in the race than it is now.
It reminds me of a kind of reversal of fortune what happened in the softwares where Leroy kind of over-roasted his backs, you could say, possibly, and it left him a sitting duck for Yona, and now Leroy, because he's on 3-lap world's harder tires on hards, not 2 you'd say.
Oh, here he comes!
And it's a situation... Well, yeah, well, so let's see if Yona tries something on the outside. Maybe he hears us, maybe
Switch
he
back.
wants to be more aggressive. Switchback maneuver.
This is it.
Not going to be enough. So, well, oh, see, he's
It
getting
is.
a toe here. Yeah, he's going for it. You are correct. Down the inside, he's going to hold the preferred line, though. It's going to be Leroy here on the outside if he can hold it, but Leroy going to keep his foot in it. They're still side by side, but it's just going to be enough. He's going to close the door on the McLaren. Will the McLaren try something up in a spot where you don't see it happen? How aggressive will he be? Not enough. So he saw an opportunity. He tried to take it, but just not enough, and the outside line prevailed there. But to kind of finish my point, though, maybe Yona's better on older tires, per se, when the tires really get rubbered in, but again, big gap to the leader, though, so they're going to need something to get back in this race.
They're going to be...
Actually, train starting to form behind him. Sorry, I just want to finish that point.
Yeah, they're going to be needing an absolute miracle to produce, because I've just seen Nathan Clark there. He's just sitting in behind all of these guys on 9 lap fresher tyres than Yona and Jorg, 11 lap fresher than Taze Leroy, and he's been held up big time here. If he was in clear air, he would have got these easily. Down in towards, obviously, turn 1 and various points on the track. But Nathan Clark has got to try and respond to this. Honey Badger's at the new fastest lap of the race. Dresse is in from second position. Onto a set of softs, I would imagine he'll go on to, because he can't go, obviously, onto a set of mediums. He'll go on to that set of soft compound tyre. They wear off at about, they wear off at about 4 or 5% a lap around here. And Dresse is onto a set of softs, so he is onto a set of softs. Tomboy in behind and Volakongan is close down in towards turn 1. Can he get the move done? No, he's too far back down in towards turn 2, and he's not going to get the move done there. So Volakongan in 7, Tomboy in 8, but... Go on.
I was just thinking, I'm looking at the tire laps. Do you think Leroy can make it to the end on those hards? Because he had 17 laps. We got... Yeah, he's probably going to have to pit. I think there's a chance, but if that top 5 possibly has to pit, does that open the door for Clark right now? Because he's good to go to the end. I'm just wondering, because Ferris could back it down, but with 3, 4, 5 all been scrapping for so long, it kind of makes me wonder. We saw, though, I think last season where a driver made over 90% out of puncture, so it's a situation they're going to run hard and run it dry. But I'm honestly looking at that maybe Clark could be a low-key, sneaky option to get possibly just come in here and get second place.
Possibly, yeah. I think everyone is going to wear out the tyres in front of them. And you mentioned Taze Leroy. I don't think he's going to get to the end. David Charles in 23 lap all mediums. Hards can last 30 laps if they're very careful. But we saw with Taze Leroy, he overheated his soft compound tyres. And he's on 18 lap old hards, and I think he is overheating those tyres again on his second stint. Leona down in towards turn 1 close, but no cigar. Is he going to get the run coming out of turn 1 this time? No. Taze Leroy through, still in P2. Tomboy as well and behind and Volakongan. David Charhard and Dresse, by the way, they're not entirely out of this. They're both on a sort of soft compound tyre. The rate that Dresse has caught up, he's nearly caught 2 seconds on Simply Superman of the last lap alone. Softs are going to come into play, but how good are they going to be, 5 or 6 laps time? Dresse now really needs to put his hammer down, put the foot to the throttle, and now really try and close up, because I think Dresse has got an outside chance of possibly picking up a good top 5 finish.
I think that's a bit of a stretch, though, because remember, the gap is 2 seconds, and he's going to be in dirty air. It's going to be hard to pass Simply Superman because he's going to be stuck in this bad spot. And then he's got to try to get to Tom, who's 4 up the road, and then another 5 to Volvicon. I don't think it's possible unless, again, pit stops happen at Galore, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Dresse is just going to burn those rubbers up too quickly trying to fight. But I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope that Haas driver does well here, but I just don't think he's the highest I think he's seen go, and he's maybe 8th. maybe 5th if he prays.
Possibly so. I mean, takes Leroy Ferrens. There's no guarantee of these guys and a set of hards going to the end of the race. And I remember the last time we came here, actually, as Tomboy's on the back of Volokongan down in towards turn 1, but he just backs off down the straight. I really don't like drivers that do that, but he may as well because he's still got a lot of time in this race. Dressy needs, however, to get this moved on and Simply Superman. Round the outside of turn 1, switch back in towards 2, I think this is going to be, and Dressy now on the outside line. Simply Superman says, you know what, you may as well just come on through. Dressy through and he's into P9. Simply Superman not really giving up the fight there, but Dresses through and he's into P9. Fresh set of soft combatant tyres, and look at how Lorchi pulls away compared to him in behind. 0.5 of a second now, and Dresses through, he's into P9. 1 ticked off. Tom is next up. He'll probably be next up in around a lap's time, and if you can get past him, it's only 4 seconds to Tom and Volokongan, who are battling.
Yeah, indeed, they are battling indeed. I still don't think it's going to be enough, though, because they're fighting hard, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. But again, big train form behind Yona. One other thing that kind of popped my mind is maybe Yona is just sitting behind conserving his rubber. Maybe he knows Leroy isn't going to make it. Maybe he knows Jorg and that may not make it as well. Oh, maybe Jorg will make it, but this point still stands. Maybe Leroy doesn't make it. Maybe Fairness doesn't make it. Maybe he's just thinking, if I take conservatively here, I know I make it to the end. I don't risk a penalty and possibly lose, go down to 5th or 6th. So maybe he's just playing a very conservative call here and just hoping it kind of plays out. It's not the smartest choice because you have to take the luck of the dice in your hands, per se, or RNG in this situation, but it's a situation where I don't hate the call because it's better than wrecking the car or getting a penalty. So there's that at least.
David Charhold, oh, Simply Superman into the side of him! Simply Superman into the side of David Charhold coming through turn 1, and he pulls across, and Simply Superman, what on earth are you doing? Absolutely unbelievable. David Child on a fresh set of soft compounded tyres. Try to get the move done cleanly down in towards turn 1. Try to loop it around the outside line. And then Simply Superman just behaves like somebody who's in a 5-lap open lobby. Simply Superman in 10th. He's slowing him down almost on purpose, I think.
You could say he is no Superman.
He is.
Indeed. Oh, yeah, that is a situation. Looks like maybe no love lost, but yeah, so we'll have to take a look at that one for sure, per se. I didn't get a good look at it, so I'll keep my opinions to myself. But yeah, Stewards may take a look at that one for sure.
I'm on board with David Charhold, and I'm just watching this. So this is being caught on stream. If you are listening to me in the background, this is being caught on stream. David Charhold there in 11th position. Look at how much Nicholas has caught up as a result. He's caught up nearly a second and a half this lap, and this is something that wouldn't normally happen. David Charhold, luckily, 43% of ERS. Simply Superman, I can understand, he's on 19-lap-old tyres, but he's on the same amount of tyres as Yona and Jorg, and they are still in the battle with Nathan Clark, and now down in towards someone. Simply Superman chooses his line to the inside line. David Charles should just loop under this, coming in towards turn 2. This should be job done, surely. On a set of soft compound tyres, pulls the left-hand side, and again, look at that! And David Charles, 3-second penalty. Disgraceful driving. Disgraceful.
I mean, I'm going to be flat there. I mean, I saw it on the straight there. I was watching with Charhold as well. A situation where it looks like Super Superman kind of weaved at first and then took his line. So, yeah. I don't know what's going with Super Superman right there. It's better than that, per se, but you could say maybe a little overcautious for David Charhold going for that inside line, but definitely Super Superman cut him off there for sure. So, definitely a head-scratcher indeed, and Stewart's definitely going to take a look at that. And our driver second the points here is going to be lucky if he doesn't get a chewing out, per se, from multiple people. But we'll have to wait and see again, because that is going to cost him 2 seconds tires, and I think that Ferrari is definitely not going to be giving that Williams a Christmas card.
And I think David has got damage as well. I think he's got right side end plate damage as a result of the contact. Look at how much time he is losing to Neymar. It's 0.8 of a second. Dresser in the meantime on the back of Tom. Tom as well on the back of Volokongan. Is he going to try and get the move done again? Yeah, he backs off the throttle again. Down in towards someone. He's going to go for final lap move, I think, at this rate.
They're both around. Sorry to cut you off. Yona gone around, spins it, try to take the inside line there, and just not a spot where you make a pass. And that's a virtual safety car.
Oh, yeah, no front wing. Yona's got no front wing. Yeah. I didn't see what happened there. What happened?
He basically tried to go up the inside there, saw an opening, tried to make it work, and then the door closed. He wasn't really close enough to make anything happen, so I'm not going to say Leroy's at fault because there was no inside line. He kind of set a daring move. They touched wheels, and just he went around inside. Similar happened to Simply Superman a while back earlier in this race. They kind of touched, and round went Yona. I'm going to say Leroy was definitely not at fault there because there was no way Yona was going to make that pass happen in that corner. He needed to be a little bit more conservative. So why did he go there for that pass? Who knows, but definitely not Leroy's fault from what I saw. But, again, not a steward. But yeah, first safety car out, and that fighting is just Furnace now 7 seconds clear of Leroy. So, and now Leroy is going to be under pressure from York and Nathan Clark on a set 11 lap hold hard. So don't keep that Aston Martin driver in your mind right now.
Yeah, takes Leroy there in second, Jorg in third, Nathan Clark in fourth. This is going to be interesting towards the end of the race. Jono obviously is going to pit in. He's going to be well down the field, and obviously are going to be pitting in further down the... there's going to be drivers pitting in, Simply Superman, possibly Nicholas on 21 lap old hard. Are they going to go in? Jono, however, is into the pit lane with that broken front wing. Of course, Volakongen and Tomboy look like they're going to resume their battle very soon indeed. I think they're going to get going again, yet DRS is now enabled, and Tom is going to get the move done. And this is the perfect opportunity to get the move done. Both of them, however, picked up DRS and Jono, and now down the inside line, in towards turn 1, they go side by side, and Tom makes the move. This time, he is through and he's into P5. Volakongen sideways out of turn 1, and now Tom is through and he's into P5. And he had to wait for it, but he had to go for it. And speaking of going for it, Nathan Clark around the outside of Jorg, in towards turn 4. Surely not. A little bit of wishful thinking there, but he is still in P4.
Oh, sorry, Jesse, and Tom fighting. Yeah.
Job done. Dresses back through.
Yep, job done. I saw grass getting cripped there, so I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh yes. Sadly though, I missed the situation to say Tom. Both Volcom was in a Tom sandwich, but now both Haas drivers are in a Tom sandwich. So I guess you could say the Haas is the meat in that situation. But yeah, Dresse could. The game's cards are still on to get a maybe. At very least top 5, so maybe your prediction's still not far off. So if that's the case, I'll give you a good pat on the back there if Dressier can pull this off, but only time will tell.
I'm going to agree with you now. 3.4 seconds on a set of soft compound tires this far into the race. I don't think he's going to catch.
One other thing worth noting is York, I think, something happened to York because he was well within half a second of Leroy. Now he's 1.7 behind, so yeah. I think something may have happened, as now he's under pressure from Nathan Clark for third position. And if Leroy doesn't make it, that could be second.
I think Leroy got a better start on the VSC. I think that's what happened there. I think Taze Leroy was on the limit in terms of his delta time. Perfection in terms of his delta. Jorg must have been a bit over his delta, had to slow down, and that's why the gap was 1.6 seconds. That's what I would assume. Otherwise, Jorg has probably made a mistake out on track. He was a little bit sideways coming out of turn 4. Nathan Clark there in P4 at the minute, and he's all over the back of Jorg. Should he going to get the move done this time around? David Charho, by the way, is through and he's into P14 still. 117.1, his fastest lap of the race. Luckily, he's not behind Simply Superman, who I've got to be honest, hasn't really acted like a superhero out on track tonight in terms of his driving, but stewards will obviously have the final say. We are just commentators, we can have our own opinion on things, and we might not agree with the stewards, but from what I saw, certainly no love lost between them both, and I guarantee you they're probably going to be having words after this race as Nathan Clark on the back of Jorg. This should be job done, I think, down in towards turn 1. If he's close enough outside in towards the 310 zone, 410s coming down in towards turn 1. Is he going to try and get the move done down in towards turn 1? No deployment used up, and I think it's wise, possibly, from Nathan, but he's got to make a move done, because Taze Leroy's tyres are 1.5 seconds up the road. He's got 11 lap fresher tyres. Why wouldn't you go for the move now on Jorg, and then get Taze Leroy with 2 laps to go?
Again, maybe it's a situation similar to what happened with Jonah, being conservative, doesn't want to risk throwing something away. As now Jonah goes fast lap of the race on his fresh set of softs, maybe just doesn't want to risk, because hey, P4 is better than going aggressive, getting a 3-second time penalty, even though he wouldn't lose anything if he got a 3-second time penalty. But the situation where he doesn't want to break something off is you have life seconds.
Oh, Tom's off!
Honey Badgers.
That's Honey Badger. Is that a safety car?
That's too late. We're not going to get a safety car this late. He's on surface though, but that can't be. This
maybe
is too late for a
one
trigger.
lap.
Yeah, but that would be
he's off track
interesting.
though.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. It would have triggered by now, so we're not going to get one. But yeah, I think it's just too late, because it would have bunched up Leroy to fairness, and that's about that, because you only get 2 to 1 laps. So it would have been a NASCAR green light checkered, but yeah, no safety car indeed. So no, it is. That's a late call. All right, this
wow.
I'm gonna go pop some popcorn. I'll be right back.
Oh my God! Safety car out here with 3 laps to go in Hungary. This is unexpected. I honestly thought the safety car wasn't going to come out, but look at how many drivers are going to get on. Is Dresse going to get on to the safety car queue? Volakongen came into the pit lane. What on earth is he doing? Why would you do that when you're only going to be out for a lap?
I mean, so did Dressier, and they're going to double stack. So why did Dressier do it? I don't even get why Tom. They're not going to have enough time to get punched up. Simply Superman's just going to jump up here to 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th. They're going to have maybe time to get 1, but they're not going to get this win off this deal. Oh, like right now, Fairness is behind the safety car right now. Leroy's going to catch him. Jorg and Nathan Clark can catch him as well. Tomboy as well. And Tomboy and Clark. This is interesting. This is very interesting indeed.
This safety car restart could be like Hamilton, obviously 2021, where it was only the car on the grid, and that was obviously under a restarted race, which I think was fair. But there's sort of a similarity, because I only think the top 7 or 8 possibly could get on this at the back of the pack.
Simply Superman will probably make it, and that's about it. I don't think Volvacon, if he can get there on those softs, it may be something to keep an eye on, but they're already in Sector 3, unless it doesn't come in this time, but I'm going to get 1 lap. Yeah, it's not coming in.
What?
So yeah, unless he can hurry up here, it could be close. I think Volvacon could make it if he hurries. Yeah, he'll make it. So Volvacon in those softs is going to make it, and he's going to have fresh softs. I think Jonas too far back, but I think Volvacon definitely will make it. It'll be warmed up, so keep an eye on Volvacon here on those softs. Safety car in. He's caught Simply Superman. All right. 2 laps on those softs, put up or shut up. How Fairness, if this was the track where you could pass better, I think Volvacon is the odds-all favorite. But can Fairness, Leroy, Jorg, Clark, and Tomboy and Simply Superman make that card wide? Defense, defense, here we go. Volvacon already getting a good jump, and he's going to get Simply Superman already in quarter 1. So did Yona and Tom caught as well. This is pure chaos.
It is pure chaos, and Ferens is trying to break the toe to Taze Leroy. Tom dives it down the inside line, and Bolakonga down the inside line, and Simply Superman as well. And a bit of contact, and Ferens is all out of shape. And here comes Taze Leroy. Taze Leroy for the race lead, trying to go all the way around the outside. He's going to lap all the tyres, but the grip is there. Can he do it? Ferens has spun. No, Ferens is not round, sorry. Ferens had a bit of a sideways moment coming out of turn 3. Just about manages to keep in front. Still, Taze Leroy in second. Jorg in third. Bolakonga's up to 5th. And yeah, on that set of soft compound tyres, how many moves is he going to make? He's got to go. Desperation more than anything else. Down the inside line. Too desperate. Too desperate. And that's what happens.
He took out the Ferrari. Yona is now 5th. He's behind Nathan Clark. Jorg, I think Fairness is going to check out here. That could have been interesting, but the Haas should have only took 1, not 2. And now he kind of threw away the Ferrari as well. So, pure chaos. But that's what happens when you only get 2 laps on the safety car. So Fairness, Leroy, Jorg, Clark, Yona, Dressy, your top 6. Dressy a little bit too far back, so Yona's the only driver that could maybe, if Yona gets a top 3 out of this, hats off to him.
Hats off to him. Yeah, that late safety car will be his best friend, I'm sure. Ferens, though, around the final corner to start the final lap of what has been a very good Hungarian Grand Prix, however a bit chaotic in the end. Hungarian Grand Prix. Jorg is under pressure from Nathan, and now Yona down the inside line. What a move that is down towards turn 1. Parked and on the apex. Beautiful move. Jonas Thuney's into P4. There's a yellow flag through the final corner. Noisy, I think, is round through the final corner. And still, Nathan doesn't want to give up the fight. Yona, however, surely has got to go for the move on Jorg. In towards turn 4. It is make or break now. Set of softs against a set of hards. You know who'd I be on?
Yep, indeed. You definitely want best out of softs here. I think Yona is going to I think he's going to bide his time here because he doesn't want to he gets a little square off exit there, but he doesn't want to do what other drivers did and throw it away here. He can still get 3rd. He's got 1 long straight. He won't get Leroy even if he forced Jorg, so...
Turn 11, possibly?
Actually, Leroy's making some good inroads on Fairness. I don't think it's going to be enough, but if Fairness makes a mistake, it could be enough. We'll see if anything's possible here. No puncture, so no situation for Fairness to get a puncture. Will Jonah make a move? He's going to try to take the inside. He's got to go for it. That was your best chance. You can't wait behind Jorg with the lap, half a lap, not even half a lap, 3 quarters to go here. He's changing the inside here. He's changing his gears, but it's not like Jorg's got 1 more quarter as Fairness is about to win this race. Unless Fairness makes mistakes, that'll be enough. But he's going to win this race. Can Yona get him on the straights? No, he will not. So it's going to be Fairness, Leroy, Jorg, Yona, Clark, Dressier, your top 6.
What a finish! What a finish in Hungary. Ferens on top. Taze Leroy second. Jorg in third. That is more than 200ths of a second, let me tell you. That is not 200ths of a second coming across the line. Probably around 8 or 900ths, I would say, in terms of the timing there between Jorg and Yona. Still, Jorg P3, Yona in P4. At least it's not the glitch where they obviously swap the positions around, rally around the final corner to come across the line in 15th. Noisy, disappointed, I think, from his perspective. Would have been expecting a better result. He's going to finish in P16. And breathe. Hungarian Grand Prix, better than Imola, I think. Honestly, great racing throughout, fantastic by all. Hopefully everyone is going to drive clean. Driver of the day, what about the in-game fans, is Dresse. And Dresse started, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right from the back of the field.
Yeah, indeed. He definitely started from the back of the field. Indeed, so good finish by him. One thing is, what if, is that Haas driver, I think it was Volvicon, didn't make that over lunges move. Could he have gotten up there? So we saw Jorg made it up, the McLaren, get it to fourth. And remember, Volvicon was ahead. I think he could have maybe won this race if he didn't throw that away. But again, ifs and buts, candy and nuts. Every day would be Christmas. But it's still going to be Fairness winning his fourth race in a row. So just Fairness on a tear. Even when things seem like to go wrong near the end, he still holds on. And a Williams gets second, but it isn't Simply Superman. And one other thing I do want to say is, then that last incident, Simply Superman had a little bit of a spin in that same spot where he kind of chawed. So I think in another situation, you would probably say that is karma, at the very least, from my co-commentator James's perspective.
Yeah, possibly so. He finished in 8th in the end. It's still a good result, I think, from his perspective. Of course, Stewards, I think, will be knocking on his door quite literally. Ference, though, out on top. 0.5 of a second in the end. He didn't have it his own way in the final 2 laps, but he has completed, well, not the Grand Slam again, because he's won the race. He hasn't picked up the fastest lap, but he did start in pole position, of course. Taze Leroy, best results of the season, in second. Fantastic moves from him. Gonna have to try and get him in for an interview. Jorgen third. Jona in fourth on debut. Very eye-catching, I've got to say. That last lap was good from him. Not good enough. He could have easily went for the move. Nathan in fifth. Dresser in sixth from 19th on the grid. Volokong and Simply Superman F1 AMG Tom. David Tom. Nicholas. Neymar Raleigh. Noisy Honey Badger Mashiro and Karin Rob. And that's probably the fastest I think I've been ever through a grid in TTML.
Yeah, I think I've gone a little faster sometimes if you play it late, but yeah, that was definitely pretty fast indeed.
Oh, what a race. What a race. Shall we try and get the top 3 in?
If you want. I think they don't usually like coming in, but we'll see if anyone decides to join us.
We will see indeed. Hopefully there is going to be fantastic racing. Just looking at the Discord, by the way, Simply Superman coming in saying, GG lads, funny race. I don't know if I should say the comment I'm thinking of, but
let's hold off. I don't want to show too much bias. We'll hold off. Let the stewards handle this one.
Noisy picked up. Go on.
I was gonna say, if you use your words, you're gonna probably tear him a new one. So let's let the stewards handle this one.
Yeah, Noisy saying he picked up floor damage. That's why he was disappointing. Floor damage for Noisy. Tom was saying as well, he was driving a very solid race and made the right decision at the end. And then he had 2 car spins right in front of him at the chicane, and it must have clipped the curb. So it wasn't actually contact, it seems, on the rear end of the Ferrari, but the curb actually spun him. So that's what it sounds like from Tom's perspective. Unlucky because he was driving a good race. Would have been on for a very good finish indeed. Of course, in the Red Bull, not the Ferrari, as I've just seen on the screen there. But a fantastic race. Jona saying the safety car saved him. And Nicholas also saying he overtook somebody around the outside of the BMW chicane. Which I think is turn 4, I think.
I think it is indeed.
And Noisy has also put in, Ferren stop dominating, greetings, Hall of TTML F2. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, he's up there for a Hall of Fame award for sure after 1 season, and I think a lot of teams are going to looking for a promotion for him as well. Yep,
engine penalty possibly coming Ferren's way for next race. I've just seen in the Discord.
It's going to be like in Super GT. It's going to be like Super GT where they have those engine penalties where they'll make your car heavier per se to try to balance it out. He's going to get nerfed the heckin' back at the rate he's going. He's going to be basically starting another postcode for next week's race.
Yeah, I'm looking at the YouTube comments as well. Nathan's saying, not a bad debut, very good debut race from you, my friend. Dresser in P6 as well, saying let's go. And Fleddy supporting Dresser there as well. Great to see a lot of support shown for the guys out on track. And of course, if you did enjoy the stream, and if you did enjoy our commentary of the stream, like, comment, subscribe, of course, tick that notification bell, of course, if you are new to League Racing TV, where we are on, currently, 1.16k subscribers. If we can get that to 1.2k before Christmas, I'll be happy.
I will be as well. It's good to see that subscriber count keep growing, per se. And also, while I do got you here as well, I do want to plug one thing. Since you plugged one of your leagues back week 1, I'm going to plug something real fast as well. That I'm turning back to league racing tonight, and I am going to be in a NASCAR at Daytona tonight at 8:30 Eastern. So, yeah, probably a lot of Brits will be in bed, but there will be a race replay. You can check my Twitter on that. We'll let you get that sorted. Come straight out and give the commentator some love.
Exactly. Don't be like me and not give anybody a look into my LOE F2 career. Where Belgium was probably my best race, and that was the final race of the season, where I led 8 of the 9 laps in the F2 feature race. So I'm very in the sprint race, in fact, and I was very happy and gutted that I eventually ended up finishing P9 because of penalties.
I'll be hoping for a little bit better performance, but it is Daytona, so it's probably going to end up, the car's going to end up in a cardboard box at the end of it, but you never know.
Daytona, though, is a good track. Daytona is just a very nice track.
It is. The GP, the GT circuit and the full circuit as well, 24 hours, beautiful as well, so yeah, very fun indeed.
Very fun indeed. Hopefully we are going to get people in. Taze Leroy and Ferrens having a little bit of a moment. Ferrens saying Taze Leroy gave him a heart attack near the end of the race, which is why the gap came down to 0.5 of a second. He was very quick, and Ferrens was sliding like on an ice track, and that's why he was struggling towards the end of the race.
Ooh, yeah, those tires are probably falling off a cliff.
Probably are more than 70% wear, I would assume, maybe even more than 80% wear in terms of driving around on ice, and it's literally such a bad feeling when you get to that point of no return, really, in terms of the tyres. You have to commit the strategy, you have to commit, obviously, for the actual race, and obviously with the safety car, how it came out, could more drivers have put in on a set of soft compounded tyres? We would never find out.
I don't think, it's like, only Yona got back. That was about 8th, 9th on the field, so I think if you were in that 6th, 7th range top 5, you would have made it, but if you were any far back, you were going to be curtained. So you had to pit in that top 5 to have a chance, and that's what some of them did. So again, hats tip to those guys. They almost made it work, but sadly, still a little bit too far away from the podium.
Yeah, Tom reporting Volakongan, by the way, in the steward's office, I can see, and that was go up, and the incident says, just going for a gap that doesn't exist. That is the finest description, I think. That, I'm assuming, is the final lap of the race, or down in towards turn 2, where I think they had a bit of contact. I'll check, actually, quickly, where that was on mine. You probably won't hear any... Oh, yeah, this was final lap. This was penultimate lap of the race, down the inside line. Ah, he contacted the back of Jorg. Slight contact at the back of Jorg, went round, Tom on the outside line, got caught. Tom was wrong place, wrong time. Simple.
Yep.
And that's probably the best I could probably say out of my stewarding ever on a stream in TTML. I don't think we're going to get anybody joining us, which is quite unfortunate, though.
That is a shame, but hopefully maybe next week.
Hopefully, maybe next week. Hopefully, we'll break our duck next week. And to warm you up, of course, for what is happening this week, F4 and F5 are happening tomorrow night. It is, of course, Conti. Funky Chicken, I don't think, is around, if I'm not mistaken, for F4 tomorrow. So, there might be a cheeky commentator coming in very, very late on. I wonder who that could be. You'll have to find out tomorrow.
And then it's like an advent calendar.
It's like an advent calendar, opening door 3 of December for TTML. I wonder who's behind giving that away. Because I was going to...
I'll be there. Who knows?
Maybe it'll be, I don't know, Jess Games. There's more action to come as well on Sunday, of course, at CWC on Monday, F1 and F2.
I believe it is 8 p.m. UK time, if I'm not mistaken. Both wrong, but I'm going to lock in 8.
Yeah. And then more action, of course, to... It is... Zandvoort next week. Beautiful track, really good racing around there. I've seen an LOE before, so hopefully that will be translated, of course, starting between the 9th and the 12th of December. So this time next week, of course, F2 will be racing around Zandvoort. And could we get a home winner possibly from the Dutchies? Can Ferrens make it 5 out of 5? Yes, I said that right. 5 out of 5. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.